We're now a little more than a month away from the start of a new school year here in the Miami Valley, and law enforcement officers are making sure that they stay ready for any type of threat or emergency. The Mercer County Sheriff's Office started active shooter training at Marion Local Elementary and Middle School today. New on 5 on 2, 2 News reporter Riley Phillips takes us inside the building as law enforcement officers learn the best way to stop a threat.
There have been close to 24 school shootings in the U.S. so far in 2023, and the Mercer County Sheriff's Office is not taking any chances. Their 2-day annual active shooter training is underway, and they say they will never stop preparing for a potential threat.
Help me, I've been shot.
Running through scenario after scenario.
Get down, on the ground, all the way down.
Making sure they'll know what to do if something like this ever happens.
It doesn't matter how you draw it up, no situation's ever the same. So we want to give them that chance to run into obstacles that they're not familiar with, and how are they going to react from that.
This is the 8th year the Mercer County Sheriff's Office has held its active shooter training, but each year they learn something new, taking lessons from other law enforcement agencies that have responded to these tragic events.
The scenarios they come up with are very difficult, and they tie them to the things that we've been seeing on the national news. Things that have went right, things that have went wrong in active shooter situations, and then our instructors are building scenarios for that so that our people get real life experiences of what this is about.
More than 40 sheriff's deputies and officers from other agencies, including some from out of state, are participating. This year, they're implementing new scenarios like working through a bomb threat and using smoke and a fire alarm to create chaos, something Deputy Douglas Webker says helps him feel more confident.
You have no idea what's going to happen, and without having the training, you don't know how you're going to respond. So this helps mold yourself into knowing how to respond to these type of situations and not to be held back in any sort of way.
While the Sheriff's Office says they haven't dealt with many of these threats in Mercer County, they still want to make sure everyone is prepared for the worst heading into a new school year. And the most important lesson they hope these law enforcement officers take away from this year's training is not to hesitate when there actually is a threat.
They are taught here, it doesn't matter who your supervisor is, you're the person in charge. You get into that school, you take care of the problem, even if you're instructed by a supervisor not to go in or to wait, they're taught to ignore that order.
This training will continue Thursday, and although they do this every year, they switch locations throughout the county to make sure law enforcement officers stay familiar with the layouts of each school. In Maria Stein, Riley Phillips, 2 News.